Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm doing another episode of Matt Rants. So I was not going to do another Matt Rants about Soulja Boy until Nintendo got him into court, and he was going to have to somehow, either Nintendo, Sega, whoever he stole, out of the many companies' ROMs that he stole, or video games that he stole, to put on his crappy clone console. I was waiting for him to get into court and then do a Matt Rants on that, because I would love to see how he tries to wiggle his way out of basically trying to undo everything he's not only done, but also saying out loud that he is currently doing. So I wasn't going to do a Matt Rant until then, but then Soulja Boy, in his infinite stupidity, actually commented, was replying to people's different tweets. Now, he deleted all those tweets, but again, and here's the thing too, by the way, so he's 28 years old. He's not old, but man, is he dumb, because even though he's deleted them, people screenshot it. What? People can screenshot tweet. Well, I don't know, man. What's going on with this digital future that we're in? If only Soulja Boy, getting away from his chopping wood and doing all the simple things that he must be doing, because he can't be like trying to run a video game console company or something like that, or start an esports league, because clearly if someone was doing that, they'd know the intricacies of technology. But I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but either way, Soulja Boy said some, I'm going to say some mildly put it, inappropriate things, not so mildly put it, fucking idiotic bullshit. And, oh, by the way, I will be cursing for a fair amount of this Matt Rants. Now the reason why I'm upset about what he said, because here's the thing. So, and I'll get to exactly what he said, although if you want to, see the exact tweets without me censoring and redacting stuff, you can go down in our description box down below. We'll have all of the links to the different articles, because he said multiple different things. If he had just said, hey, YouTubers suck, I wouldn't care. People tell me that I suck in my comment section on a near daily basis. Cool. That's fine. I don't care about people telling me that I suck. If he said, oh, Nintendo sucks, a little odd, because you have a lot of their games on your clone consoles, but still, whatever. He could say that if he wanted to. I actually wouldn't be making a video about it. I'm sure some other people would online, but frankly, I wouldn't, right? But here's the thing. So he didn't just say that. He then started using homophobic slurs at people just because. And this also gets me so upset, not just because I have friends in the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm sure I have fans who are in that community as well, but also due to the fact that, and some of you guys might also feel this way as well, I'm not a fucking asshole. So when something like this happens and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, Soulja Boy isn't a comedian, so it's not like he's trying to go for edgy comedy. Soulja Boy isn't doing this on a comedy stage where you're like, oh, is he an actor? Is he doing a bit? Is this? No, he's just a piece of shit. So at the end of the day, seeing the fact that, oh, by the way, I think I mentioned this earlier, I will be swearing on this edition of Matt Rants, a fair amount. And this is me trying to be composed, by the way. It's just so frustrating to see him trying to talk about, by the way, in general, not in these tweets, but in general, trying to have an air of legitimacy about him trying to start an esports league, and then saying something like this and thinking that he's just going to be a-okay, that everything's going to be just fine. It is just completely asinine. And I'll talk about what he said, and I'll do some more breakdowns after that. So let me read some of the tweets. Again, different tweets will be linked down below in the description box to different articles if you want to read them there. But let's start reading them now. Oh, joy. So looking at this first tweet, this was tweeted at Soulja Boy, and this is something that I found hilarious. Soulja Boy didn't, but also, remember, fuck him. So, looking at this tweet, it says, hey Soulja Boy, I have a new video game console. It's just a USB stick with trademark Nintendo and Sega games, but I slapped my name on it, so it's straight. I wonder, using the word straight, I assume he might be British, because I wonder if that's some British slang. Tell me down below if it is. So, Soulja Boy said, you're not funny, and I'm bleeping that, that's the B word. You're not funny, bleep. And then bleep, which was an F word, not fuck, because again, I'm using that word a lot, a fair amount this episode. No, it's a homophobic slur. And so F ass nerd. All right, so we're we're starting this off on a very good note. I think we're starting this off really well here. Just one slur. Not more than, if you did more than one, clearly that would be that's sarcasm, by the way. Fuck him. So, and then here's where this is where it gets to some people. Let's say some of you guys out there are like, I don't care about the homophobic slur. What? But still, if for some reason, if you're like, I don't care, here is where it gets into, at the very least, illegal territory. I say illegal in terms of general legal territory, because now he's going to start going on a tirade against Nintendo. Okay, so he says, let's see here. He says, I'm not scared of Nintendo or none of you. He said the homophobic slur again. The same one, by the way. So again, we started off with just one, just the PewDiePie special, and then we just started going on, and it's like, ooh, I think I don't want to. Are we getting into the, we're getting into Kramer Central here? So I'm not scared of Nintendo or none of you homophobic slur nerds making YouTube videos. Eat a dick. And thanks for the free promo. So here's the thing. So, by the way, he said eat a dick. No, thank you. But, right, if someone said, you know what, I would like a dick, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that he said eat a dick, I have to, yes, that's a homophobic part of it as well. I don't consider it as bad. Some of you can talk to me about that in the comments below, disagree with me. I don't think it's terrible to say the phrase eat a dick. But to say that in a tweet, see, here's the thing about all of this too. If he's just saying some of this stuff around some friends of his in the privacy of his own home, I never hear about it. Yes, it kind of becomes that weird situation of like, if a tree falls in the forest, is it homophobic? But at the same time, it's just, I'll never know about it. He can do whatever he wants to with his friends in the privacy of his own home while they're playing games. Maybe some of them are LGBTQ+, maybe some of them rip on him for being a bad rapper. All of them laugh and have a good time if they're friends, if he knows them. But here's the thing. This is in public. So some of you guys are like, no, but he's still not wrong. This is in public. This is the equivalent of doing this in the town square. Some people are like, do I still have a town square? You might. The town square. That's when you go out and you get a megaphone and you're like, and you're just screaming this stuff. I know it's online and we're so used to doing stuff online that it doesn't seem like it's equivalent to the town square doing this in public, but it is. And that's the thing. This is the equivalent of, and another thing too, by the way, not only is this equivalent of doing it in public, in a way it's even worse because more people would see this than they would if you were just doing this in your town square. And again, juxtaposing this with him saying, I'm trying to be a good businessman, or I'm trying to start an esports league. Who wants to work with you? Like, the thing, who's going to want to work with you in your esports league? And even if you go, look, man, I don't care. No. But seriously, what advertisers, what people are going to work with a dick like this? Who's not only, by the way, you can't, what, Nintendo's going to be like, you know what? Even putting the homophobic stuff aside, which is hard to do, but let's say we do. Nintendo going, you know what? You said we weren't going to do shit and that you're not scared of us. All right. We're going to love working with you with your quote unquote esports league. Anyway, so he didn't stop there, though, by the way. If you're thinking, Matt, you're making a nothing burger out of this. No, he keeps on going. Y'all don't scare me. I'm Soulja Boy, FOH. By the way, if it's not apparent, he tweeted this. I'm not saying this. He's tweeting. He keeps on going. Y'all not, the B word again, about the other companies selling consoles. Y'all don't want to see a black man get money, LMAO. Trying to snitch on me, but I'm not doing nothing wrong. Haha, eat a dick. We're at 5 million sales, and then an emoji of like a laughing, crying, and like a muscular arm. So here's the thing. First of all, there actually is inequality in this country in regards to different races. You disagree with me? All right, but you could also be wrong. So here's the thing, though. The worst thing is when a dumbass person like Soulja Boy tries to say, so it's about race, isn't it? No, it's about you being a fucking idiot. And look, guys, I'm Hispanic. So again, I'm not trying to come at this from a racism doesn't exist kind of angle here. No, it does. And it permeates different parts of our society. But guess what? This isn't about that at all. This is about Soulja Boy being an idiot. There's just a straight line from one to the other. Now, if he were saying, hey, why aren't you trying to crack down on these other Chinese companies from the get-go? That would be an interesting discussion, actually. But he's talking about other people selling consoles as if as if Nintendo is doing the exact same thing, as if Sony, as if Microsoft is doing the exact same thing. This hurts, and it just hurts so much. So, by the way, you're thinking, Matt, I still feel like this is a nothing burger. I don't know how at this point, but if you are, there's still more. You think he stopped? Oh no. He's still going. He's still going. So in this next tweet, he says, "It's so funny y'all don't know how business works. LMAO, nothing is gonna happen." Now, all he had to say was, "I've actually licensed these." Oh, all right. Didn't have to bring in a fake racism, didn't have to bring in the fact that he's saying that, slurs, didn't have to bring in shitting on YouTubers. All he had to say was, "Hey guys, I've licensed this. You might not be aware." Like, could you imagine any other company that, think of any other company and imagine the hate mail they get on a daily basis. Could you imagine if a PR person was just throwing out slurs and just being like, "Man, actually, minus the slurs, there was some issues with the PR reps for the Atari VCS. No slurs, just a lot of stupidity." I did a video on that as well. But still, we don't know how business works. Just say the phrase, "Hey, I've licensed these." And I'd be like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. That sounds like bullshit, but I mean, hey, well, that sounds interesting." But by the way, also about 5 million have been 5 million in sales. He really needs to talk to a lawyer. 5 million sold is just what's going to be brought up in court. He's literally, Nintendo. I made a joke during the last Matt Rants. Nintendo is talking to their lawyers and just FaceTiming, just 24/7. Just leave the FaceTime on, leave the Skype on. We're just collecting this as we go along. At this point, I feel like Nintendo's lawyer just is like, "Look, I don't need to make my case. Can we just get Soulja Boy in here to make my case for me?" I feel like that's what Nintendo's lawyer, I say one lawyer as if there's only one, this is in the 80s, their lawyers are doing. So let's keep on going, because again, Soulja Boy still has more to say. So he continues to say, "If Nintendo was going to do something, they would have the first day. My console not going anywhere. Everything I'm doing is 100% legit. Stay mad and I'll keep getting richer." So again, that's, I guess, a way of saying, "Hey, I've licensed all these legally," but just say that and then be done with it. But the fact that he's just sitting there and he's just talking about the fact that Nintendo would have done something the first day. No, they wouldn't have. They might have sent a cease and desist. That's actually super fair. And the fact that they may have not yet is very interesting, to say the least. So I will actually concede to that small point. The shithead has a point. Would they have not sent a cease and desist already? But they're not just going to immediately pull them from the shelves like that. Soulja Boy would have to do that. By the way, there are no shelves. It's fucking all digital. But still, you would have to pull that. He would have to, or his team would have to. Also, you would need to have what's it called? To actually build a case. You can't just call up a judge randomly. Just, "Hey, so we're gonna have this trial because look at what this dumb dude did." That's not how the law works. And it's always so funny, because you always have the dumbest people thinking they know the most. And I'm not saying that I'm smart by saying this, although maybe I am. No, but all jokes aside, though, if I don't know something, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know it." I know that I don't know something, which is a weird thing to say, because you're not supposed to know what you don't know. But still, I try my hardest to go, "Hey, I don't know this." And especially during different podcasts that we do over at Those Guys in the Radio channel, not a plug, I'm actually being serious here. I bring on people who are a bit more experienced in a certain area, or we both have an equal knowledge of the subject, to try to complement each other, because that's what you do. You try to have someone else there, or have a team around you to build up your own faults. Build up your own faults? Help you with your faults. I think that's the word I'm looking for, the phrase I'm looking for. But still, oh God. And by the way, there's the little cherry on top. Soulja Boy goes on to say, "Nintendo ain't gonna do shit." And he said shit in all caps. And by the way, I'm not trying to make some, parody of how he would speak or anything like that. This is literally, I'm reading exactly what he wrote, and I don't want to try to correct it because, again, he wrote this. So I'm trying to read exactly how he wrote. And frankly, I don't care about his grammar. So none of you come at him for his grammar and stuff like that. I'm going to come at him for the fact that he used homophobic slurs and actually shit on the company that he has stolen games from. If Nintendo wasn't going to do something at this point, now they're like, oh, did he just? Oh, he just. So at this point, he's pissed off so many people. It's just so confusing as to how he thinks he's an actual adult. Like, he's 28 years old, if I remember correctly. He's 2 years older than me. And oh my god, like he's a human being. He's just doing this. And it's just like, all right, wow. All right, so, but anyway, before we wrap things up, there's one more thing I want to mention as well that also really ticks me off, is the fact that there are a lot of us in the community, and some people who still do bad things in the community, but still, there are a lot of people in the community that say things like, hey, I want us to be taken more seriously. I feel like we're not taken seriously by either the media or just by other people who are outside of the community. Why don't people take us seriously? And it's shit like this. And I know you might be like, but Matt, he's not part of our community. Well, the thing is, though, is, interestingly enough, he's not just an opportunistic, quote-unquote, businessman who's trying to take advantage of, the retro game market. He's actually someone who recently bought a gaming PC. He has a tricked-out gaming rig. That's what they call it. That's what the youths call it, a gaming rig. So he's actually a fan of gaming. He's not just someone who's just like, oh, what is a game? He's just dumb on everything else in regards to both conducting yourself as not an asshole and as a businessman. But at the same time, though, it's just, he's so far removed from being a businessman. I was like, what's the word that you describe? Oh yeah, businessman. But still, he's someone who actually does like video games. So yes, sadly, he's part of our community. Now, don't worry, we have the time to oust him, right? We have the time to talk to, basically just online, just say, look, this homophobic stuff is not meant for our community and we don't want this in our community. But we have to say stuff like that to let people know, hey, listen, he's not one of us. This does not belong. Because if we let stuff like this exist and belong in our community, then when we say things like, well, why don't people respect us or why don't people look at us seriously? It's because of assholes. Now, yes, you could say, hey, he's a minority, though. He's just allowed, part of that minority in the case of being homophobic in the gaming community. You could say that, sure, but that still doesn't mean that we can let it slide and not talk about it. And that's the real reason why I wanted to make this video, or the biggest reason why, because I didn't want to let this slide. I didn't want to let this seem like it's okay and let him feel like, I'm granted, he's never gonna fucking watch this video, but still, I didn't want to let people think, oh yeah, who cares? The problem is that he's selling those video games. Like, yes, legally that's the problem, but also, personally, he's an asshole. So, but you know what? I've been cursing far too much. I think maybe some people are like, Matt, you've cursed far too much this episode of Matt Rants. I feel like you should calm things down just a little bit. All right, so I will say this in my infinite calmness. I will calm down, and I will say from the bottom of my heart, Soulja Boy, go fuck yourself. All right, guys. So, thank you all so much for watching again. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. But, I mean, you can hate watch if you'd like. Please comment down below if you'd like to. If you want to disagree with me on certain stuff in this video, that's fine. I would suggest doing it civilly, but still, you could disagree just fine. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right on everything. Again, there's some stuff that I don't know. So you guys can definitely, if you want to, down below, disagree with me. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I just don't want stuff like this in the fandom, especially from someone who's trying to act like they're so high and mighty as a business person. Again, this isn't someone who just said this. This isn't a leaked video that was, leaked from his living room or anything like that. He said this publicly on Twitter. And for anyone who's like, I'm sure maybe, he'll apologize. Maybe by the time this video is out, Soulja Boy will apologize. I don't believe he has yet. But still, even if he does, remember that this is new. Like, this isn't 5 years ago. This isn't 10 years ago. This isn't a Kevin Hart situation where there's some potential nuance there. This is something that Soulja Boy literally just tweeted within the last 2 days. This is so new of a situation that the toilet seat that he tweeted this off of isn't even cold yet. Sorry for that visual. Still though, legit, this is something that just happened. So we can't excuse this. Look, in 5 years, he's like, I've grown up now. My apologies. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to decide. It's for some of you guys in the LGBTQ plus community to decide. But still, that's 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, 8, 7, 7. This is a few years from now, but this just happened. Hasn't even been a week yet. So, yeah, that was the topic of this video. Again, thank you all. Love you all. Take care. Tune in next time for another episode of Matt Rants that will not have Soulja Boy in it. All right, guys. So, see ya.